What's the weirdest non-sexual thing you've walked in on someone doing? My grandpa putting a new light bulb in the lamp wearing a dress. Note, I was very depressed then, so he tried to make me laugh. Or, that's a good grandpa. I hope you're doing better now. My heart's melting now. Give your grandpa some love if he's still around. I don't know why I'm picturing Danny DeVito in a dress putting a new light bulb in a lamp. My brother, high off his ass, laying in our chicken pen trying to pet everyone that went by and getting the shit pecked out of him. Was he lying face down? Hope he didn't get his pecker pecked. Oh effing gross. There's no way he wasn't laying in a bunch of chicken shit. Those birds are so goddamn filthy. I thought for sure this was going to turn into a masturbation story. I walked in on a new mom co-worker squeezing breast milk into her own coffee right from the teat. This takes the cake. Well, the coffee was few until you walked in on her. I've got a feeling that until she was discovered, it wasn't for her. Does that count as recycling? I wish I could do that. I once came home to my roommate sitting on the living room floor with literally 20 bags of Lay's potato chips and just looked up at me and said, "Betcha can't eat just one." When I was 15, I opened the door to see my little brother be born. Oops, no joke. My dad was an EMT and my mom had a home birth. My dad was also a photographer. I got to see myself get born when I went through my dad's stuff. Full vag and all. I once caught my roommate studying. It was the only time I ever saw them do anything academic related. It was a bit surreal. He had probably promised some hot classmate he'd help her pass some course. I was walking past my friend's bedroom door as he was on his computer, headbanging and singing along to some music, with a permanent marker as a microphone. He looked at me in awkward silence, so I joined in. You are a great friend then. I once walked in on my stepsister dancing to Crab Rave with a crab costume on. What? Was she supposed to dance along without a crab costume on? Must have been the weirdest sex you ever had. It was a sports teacher in my school selling these pills to these guys in an older year. All 6 of them locked eyes with me and all I could say was, "Has anyone seen a science book around here somewhere?" And then I just left without saying anything else. Wait, what the F? Either steroids or roofies. You may never know. When I was 15, I was walking home from a friend's house one evening when I cut through this local park with a gazebo in it. In the gazebo, there was this gypsy lady dancing around a chair with a Shrek plushie sitting on it. It looked like she was trying to put some sort of curse on it. I just kept walking hoping she didn't see me. Oh, she saw you. I come home to find a black garbage bag on the kitchen floor, an open can of paint, a mug with paint on it, and socks with paint on them next to it. My roommate yells from her bedroom I wasn't painting a mug with my socks. Years later she admitted that's exactly what she was doing. I have so many questions right now. I was the one who got walked in on, but this is the only one I remember. One hot and humid as F Virginia summer, I was laying naked in bed reading. My little brother barged in without knocking to return some shoes he borrowed. He awkwardly backed out as I cackled. "This is your trauma, not mine. He always knocks now." I drove to my friend's house in the county to try and surprise him when I was about 18, and walked into his house to him absolutely blasted on MDMA with music blasting through the entire house and him raving his ass off with a smoke machine in his living room. He was the only one home. Turned out to be one of the most fun nights I've ever had. Not necessarily walked in on. A couple of years ago, I was mountain biking a popular trail in a pretty remote area. I came around a corner and there were 20 or 25 people sitting on the ground all facing the same direction dressed in your run-of-the-mill hiking clothing. In front of them were 2 men in white robes performing some kind of ceremony. They were in a public place, so it's not like they were really hiding it. However, it was still quite strange. I was the one being walked in on. Big hairy guy here. In college I was going to the beach for spring break and got my guy roommate to nair my back. Really a good guy for doing that for me. Anyways, our apartment apparently had a big weed dealer living there the year before. Some students would periodically knock on our door or even come in without knocking if one of the 5 roommates forgot to lock the door. As you can guess what's coming. A guy walked in on this happening in the living room, stared silently for a moment, and did a 180 out the door. I watched my sister fart on her bed, then spin around and press her face into the fart spot and inhale. I don't know if it's sexual, but I caught someone licking a bathroom mirror before. So yeah, this might not count if you think about it.